Hi, this is Tanmay Shah with the host Laura Ginberga. Today's episode is on pricing tips from traditional professional artists. Details of all speakers have been mentioned in the show notes. You can get all episodes of Rocklaz on Spotify or any other podcast catcher. Let's begin.
Fantastic. Well, I would say let's just have a quick presentation how long you have been doing your art, what art you do, if you have entered NFTs since when. Let's start with that.
Okay, so I've been a full-time painter for 20 years, and my main medium is oil, although I do like to explore a lot of other stuff. So you will find in my inventory things that are done in acrylic, watercolors, sketches, all sorts of things. But my main medium is oils. And I started on NFTs around August. So I haven't been here all that long, but it feels like forever. So I joined Twitter just for NFTs because, it's not social media that I thought that was, very good. So I wasn't here. But since August, I've been really enjoying Twitter Spaces and, networking here. It's great for NFTs. So that's my journey here so far. Yes, and next.
I love how you're structured. Yes, so how often do you change your prices since, well, we don't go back to 20 years ago, but let's say in last 5 years, have you changed your prices for traditional art? And are these prices similar to your NFT works? And is the NFT the representation of your physical works, or it's something different?
Yeah, that's a good one because, I do have people approaching me a lot on DMs, on Instagram especially, asking how to price my art. And I think I should put a tutorial together because that is a question that a lot of, especially the new artists, they don't quite understand how to do it. So, to have a pricing structure, although we'd like to believe that some pieces are better than others and we should price them differently, it kind of it backfires on you because some collectors are not going to buy some pieces just because they think, oh, this one is not so good. So it is ideal to have some sort of square inch for your price. And you can change that as you get more demand on your work. So I revalue my work by the end of the year. So I kind of look at how it went, and if I have more sales, then I'm keeping up on inventory. Then it's time to raise my prices again. So one good way to look at it is how much is your time worth? How much time do you spend on a piece that you're putting together? And that's how you come with the first idea of, how to price it. And then when you move into NFTs, it's a whole new place. So I have a very established career in the real world. I just had a museum exhibition by myself, a 2-story museum for a full show. And then
congratulations.
Thank you. So I got into NFTs and no one knows me here. So I can't just bring those prices to NFTs because I don't have the audience here yet. And it's like you're starting all over into a completely new place. So I have, the picture that you see here is a collection that I have in the background, is a bees collection. And I priced them starting at 0.03. So that was as low as I went on my starting price. And I dropped for the time, raising them. And now the floor is at 0.1. I only have 6 left in that collection. But that was not the focus of my NFT. That was just a starting collection. Now that I have, some sort of an audience, now I can bring my prices a little bit more towards what my value in the real world is, because people are starting to know who I am. And then that way you can start matching the real world to the NFTs. And I think eventually NFTs could be higher than the in real life prices. So that's how I structured them.
Well, I think that's a perfect answer. And I mean, so many artists, in early stages might actually have a big inspiration for you. So I don't know if you do mentoring or if you can advise anybody if they contact you, but I think it's a great experience you have.
Yeah, I do that for free. I never feel like, comfortable enough on charging for mentoring, but people approach me on DMs, and I usually, I take some time to get back and address questions. So I'm always happy to support people, and just I think we're in this together. As the art industry grows stronger, it's better for everyone. So I think we should hold hands and race together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so basically the pricing is deciding you or the gallery, or how do you do with the pricing?
The pricing, it starts from the artist. So you have
but for yourself, so not for general artists.
So I have my price, but then when I go to the gallery, I have a gallery that represents my work. So they take a large commission, but even with the large commission, I cannot have a different price personally. So I have my pricing, and the commission that I pay for the gallery, I consider that is my commission on selling when I'm selling by myself. So that way, you won't have a collector approaching a gallery and going like, oh, I'm going to try to buy through the artist directly and get a discount that way. That can really kill your reputation. So you have to be very mindful in that sense when you're having pricing with galleries and in your personal studio. So that's an important one.
Oh, perfect. I mean, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to go through your bio because I really want to study your art and your everything. I know Lila has a question for you, so please, Lila, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So this is super helpful because this is actually what I'm struggling with right now, because I have exhibited my work. Right now, it's not in any gallery, so that's a good thing. I can price it, but I had this question about pricing in the real world, and I've actually spoken to other artists who say you should price it higher here in the NFT space than IRL. So that's why it's so great to hear different opinions. So just to go back to your example. So you said that initially you priced your art at 0.03 ETH here in the NFT space. And then how much was that same piece in real world, like on your website? I'm not talking about the gallery. Just so we can put apples to apples, right? So we can put apples to apples. Yeah.
This collection specifically, I created for a gallery exhibition, so I don't have it on my website, but it would have been the same price. So they have 3 different sizes in real life, and they were priced at like $400, $600, and $900. And the NFT, so the 0.03 was way below the original price. But then, now that it's 0.1, it's actually kind of like around the price of in real life. And I have that, separate from the NFT separate from the physical. Although I am now, in some pieces, I do offer the physical for people that want it. So I just had a commission, for instance. I went to NFT NYC recently, and I met this guy, and he saw my John Lennon piece, and he was like, would you paint Bob Marley? And I was like, yeah. And I'm not only going to make the NFT, I'll send you the original. So that one was a sale of 0.33, which, for 16 by 20, it kind of like matches the price in real life. And because I'm still trying to build a relationship with people here, I figure, I'll just sell it as a combo. So you have very different ways that you can approach on price on NFTs, and it can be, either you're offering the original, but I would say like a lot of collectors do not want an original physical piece because they want to keep their privacy. So not everyone is going to want the original, so you can always, offer as a gift if they want it, but I would never recommend attaching to it. So pricing in real life versus NFT has, so many variables, but you can always take, what works for you and go with that.
That's super helpful, and thank you for sharing the prices, because it's this whole, I think pricing is very, very important. Either if you price it too high, too low, and even in the real world, it's so tricky. So thank you, Laura and Tanmay, for hosting this space. I guess I'll just, I had some other questions. Maybe I can just DM you. My real other question for you was that beautiful gallery behind you. What app was that? Was that a real world gallery, or was that a virtual? Because I've seen some AR, VR ways to showcase our art. So on your behind your PFP, what was that picture?
Yes. No, this is a real picture. It's from the gallery reception for this collection called The Hive. So I had a show in October, and so this is real me dressed in a big costume for my gallery exhibition. And but I do have a virtual gallery that I use on Cyber to put my collection and the pieces I've collected, because I love collecting as well. And also, like, if you want to display your art, you have some apps that you can place the art on a wall. So there's a few options out there. If you're interested in that, I can send you some options.
I know those.
DM.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Good.
you. Awesome. Okay, I'll keep quiet now. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. I think we can move to our next speaker. Does anybody has a question to Fair? Tanmay, Tegu, Harsh, Mandu?
Fair, thanks for coming. It was so insightful, and you just hit the spot with nail with that. And I'm sure it was helpful to many out there. Especially, it was helpful to me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. And I'm so sorry that I have to be in and out so much in a rush. But yes, traveling today with kids is not so simple. So thanks for having me. And I look forward to contributing more in other days. I just really have to go today. But thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Thank you for joining in such a short notice and squeezing in time for this space. You're awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your value to this group. Tegu, you are the next speaker. Welcome.
Wow, yes, I'm very excited. Thank you very much for giving me the space. So I don't know where to start, because I've been working as an artist, visual artist, since 48 years. So I went to Germany in the 70s, in the 72. Is actually I went there for really for study art, without any permission of my parents. Our parents in the 70s and the 60s, they only have the in their mind. Your son has to be engineer, or to be police, or to be a doctor. So I went to medical faculty in Jakarta for 2 years, and then, but I didn't study seriously, but instead I'm driving taxi here in Jakarta, and saving money for my ticket to Germany. So in 1972, I left Jakarta, went to Germany, and trying to submit myself in Hochschule der Künste in Berlin. This is now they renamed into Universität der Kunst. I have tried 4 times examen. Can you imagine? So every semester I've tried again, and I've tried again, and failed again. And the funny thing is, every time before you do the examen, they give you flyers, and they told you that only one person from how do you say, absolvent. Oh, I forget the word. So the alumni of UDK, only one from 1,000 or so can make living from the art. So, but still, I really want to be an artist, and I didn't get any support from the government or from my parents. So I had to wash dishes, taxi driving, and any jobs I did it just to support myself and to make me able to study art. So I finished my study in 80. So I did my master after 6 years studying, and because from the beginning I have to support myself. So I don't know how do you call this? Maybe in in my person is something developing like a entrepreneurship. So that I'm not going to make living from art, but I want to live for art. So until now, of course, this thought, I still keep it, and I still hold my concept of living. So I always try to support myself from other thing except outside the art. But since let's say 15 years ago, uh, my my painting and my sculpture is becoming vibrant, and I'm well celebrated artist here in Southeast Asia. So everybody know my artworks. Even I got also commission work from the old house of Willem de Koning in New York. So I did big sculptures about 4 meters high, and my last sculpture is about 8 meters standing in next to the Lake Toba in Sumatra. So I have to try everything. So, and the funny thing is also I can survive because I'm independent. So I'm not dependent on galleries or art dealers and such things. So I always trying my marketing by myself, and thank God. So my wife is supporting me, so she is working for me 24 hours. So we can survive. And if you ask me about the pricing, so my physical art is now is about from the let's say 10,000 US dollar until 500,000 US dollars. But when you see in my Calamin or in Hip Eknam, so I've tried to be an NFT artist since end of August. So I start with 0.08 pesos and some friends and collectors are asking me why it's so cheap, and I said because I want to do something, so I have to start from the beginning, and I want to do something new, and I have to start from zero, and some of my NFT arts are from like 5 or 10 minutes on the drop party is sold out, and now my last minting, so I priced my artwork is like two pesos, 6 pesos. So for me, is the money is not important, but how to produce adrenaline, then I can work further. I can make more steps in my creativities. Maybe I need a question.
Fantastic. Thank you. Tegu, is that the right pronunciation of your name?
Yes.
Fantastic. I mean, your story, and obviously you have put all your life into art. It is so admirable. And I think especially for young artists, it's beautiful to see how far you can go and your actual tenacity and resilience, no matter what, you are still doing this. This is just really full respect, and I love that, and I love your work. What I would ask, what my question is, so you mentioned your prices start for physical work from 10,000 to up to 500. So is that only for the primary market, or 500 would be the secondary market? So and
Oh, sorry. This is the physical art.
Yes.
I mean, the physical art pricing is from 10,000 US dollar until 500,000 US dollars. This is what I have sold.
Yes, and that would be the primary market. So this is you actually selling for 500, or that is secondary market where somebody resells your work.
No, in the physical market, this is only primary market, right?
Well, I mean, if somebody has bought your work and then resold it. So, for example, if a collector has resold your work, then it's the secondary market.
Oh, you mean in the auction houses?
Auction houses or sales or?
Yeah. So in the auction houses, they play like from 10,000 until at the moment until so 25, 30,000 US dollar. I mean the 500,000 US dollar was the commission work I did for Lake Toba. This is the bronze sculpture. It's about 8 meters high.
And so because you are an independent artist, how do you know what is the right price for you? And have you tried to grow with the price? Obviously you have, and so obviously you have sold. So you have you got the answer and response from your collectors and supporters. So question: when was the last time did you raise your prices actually?
It depends. So sometimes every year, so 10% I raise the price, but sometimes, for example, commission work for church, I always charge a very low price. Yeah, and after 40 years, 30 years working as an artist and do the marketing, you can have the how do you call it, the Vorstellung. So my German is
It's okay, no worries. Take your time.
So you can structure your price, right? And the funny thing is if you often say no to somebody who wants to buy and try to bargain, so a lot of people come back to you and buy. So I would say to to my young artist colleagues, please don't say everything every time. Don't say yes.
Agreed. Very important.
You have to refuse. You have to reject, and you have to show them that actually we don't need him, because I still can go taxi driver, you know. So as long your bread is there and your rice is there, you can feed your children, and I don't need to sell my painting or my sculpture.
You basically, you're saying that you have to stay true to yourself and who you are, and not oversell yourself.
Right.
And I would say very, very important to traditional artists is obviously who is your collector, and that the collector is not a flipper, because the flippers can actually ruin your market if you think in long term. So it's very important that that an artist actually knows the collector.
Yeah, you have to differentiate between the collectors and the investor.
Thank you so much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Does anybody have a question to Tegu?
Yeah, I just have one question, Laura, and that is on his last point. Tegu, how do you know? You mentioned, and you obviously have more experience than a lot of us here, certainly me in the room. You said here in the NFT space, it's important to differentiate between the collector and the flipper. So can you just share with us how to do that? Like in the real world, it's easier, right? Because you see them in the show, or they DM you on Instagram and you can get a sense. But how have you done that here, and what would you suggest we do that?
If you see my NFT art from Hiket Nang and Kalamin right now, so you can see how different my artworks to compare to the most artworks of NFT artists in the world, because what I see is there is a trend, and everybody try to do the same thing. So I'm fine art. I'm not my background is not graphic design. I'm not how do you say animator or something else. So I still keep my fine art how to work it. Even though I'm now working on iPad and on my Procreate. So, but I don't use too much help from this machine. So I still believe, I still trust my hands. I still can make a straight line. I can still make a straight curve and everything. So I've been studied fine art in very conservative school in Berlin, where I have to go to a live drawing class in a week, and 3.5 years. So I know I know the anatomy of human being. I know the anatomy of anything else, or even animals. So I can draw. The for example the one of my series, the face series is I'm drawing the faces of NFT artists from all over the world. Is also minted. Some of them is minted in Calamint, or I did my model on bipolar, on the mental health series, which is minted in Phuket Nang. So I'm actually I'm obsessed of human face. So and I'm master on the anatomy, so I can do whatever whatever you want me to do. I can do very academically.
That's amazing. So, yeah, and I just followed you. So, just can you give us maybe a real world example? So, you said Calumet is one place where you have your art, and can you tell us what the pricing is? Just pick just for apples and apples, and then what was the other site, and how did you price that, please? Since I'm just trying to stay on topic here with the with Laura. Yes, if you can give us an example, that would be helpful.
The new drop from us series from the face of the NFT artist is only two pesos.
So what is that in ETH? I'm sorry, or dollars? I'm not familiar with the conversion.
Pesos, I don't know. Today is maybe about 1 pesos is about. I'm on rupiah.
$5.
So,
1 pesos is about $4 to $5.
Okay, thank you.
I see.
Yeah.
So you're selling it at $10 for an original painting, or these prints?
This is not original. This is on edition 3, right?
I see.
Yeah.
And how many in the edition?
If you say original is my physical art, my sculpture or my painting. My painting in the size of, like let's say 70 by 50 centimeters painting is about almost $10,000.
Okay, and is that so? That's helpful, and that is listed on Calumet, or was that a different blockchain?
The physical is in the traditional.
But you made an NFT, right, of the physical? Have you made an NFT of that? And not yet.
No, the NFT art I made digitally. I made them on my iPad Pro.
Okay, I see.
I made them on what is the app? Procreate.
So if you were to and I think this is what some of us are struggling with is, so let's say you have the $10,000 painting, right? But you're selling in the real world for 10,000 US or whatever it is in euros or ETH.
Yeah.
Then what would you, if you were to put that on the blockchain as an NFT, what would you price that at? Would you price it at an equivalent price if there's a discount, or higher or equal? Have you thought about that, or I'm just trying to get a sense as to what the process is?
No, all the physical art I sell on the traditional market.
Okay, so you haven't yet made an NFT. Okay, thank you.
And the NFT artworks are made on iPad.
Got it. No, I got it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you for the question.
Tego, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please.
So, just to revise, you said you price your art as what you want and you don't give in easily to the collectors or flippers. So, that's a very nice point. Secondly, on the same lines, I wanted to ask you, how did you price your work throughout economical changes in the world, like inflation or deflation, or like COVID has happened right now? So, how do you price in these situations?
It's the same. So everybody said, "Wow, pandemic, the art market, the traditional art market is going slow," and so. But during the pandemic, I got so many commission work on my sculpture. So
Okay.
I don't have anything to complain.
Okay, so you
and also for for my rice, for my bread. I'm also doing trading on forex and crypto money, and until now I have no problem. So sometimes you lose, you have to cut loss and everything. So it's normal on the trading, but I can make good living.
So would you suggest?
That is.
Would
Sorry,
you
go.
would you suggest young artists or people who are starting off to not depend completely on artwork and do like as you would drive taxi or now you are trading, so have an alternative job to support the art career? Would you suggest that?
Yes, yes, definitely yes, because the traditional art market is also sometimes unfair especially to the young artists. May I tell a story? So my experience in Cologne about 1982.
Yes, please do so.
Yeah. So I was still 32 years. I was still young. Yeah. And a gallerist from Klagenfurt came to my studio, and we talked. Once he once proposed me exclusive contract with him for 2 years, and he said so he will give me 2,000 Deutschmark. At that time, it's very big money every month, just to make me living and just working as a painter at the moment. And I was agree, and at that time my first son was born, so that means I need a lot of money to support my baby, right? And he said also the Europe market is belong to him, so I cannot sell to anybody else. This is okay, this is fair, because he support me 2,000 mark per month. And then he said also, so he will obligate himself to make two exhibition in Europe for me, so solo exhibitions, which is good. And he will also make two catalogs per year. And uh, he wants 60%, and I get 40%. This is also okay. This is fair. But then he said, "But you cannot." He said to me, "You cannot do anything. You have to do your series." At that time, I was working on one series called Walk, WALK. And he said, "So I cannot do anything except walk." And I said, "No." Then that time I really need the money, but I said no. And then I went back to the restaurant in Brussels Platz in Cologne to work as a waiter at night, just to support my family. But I'm free, so I can do experiments. I can do so many things. So if I would say yes that time, maybe today I wouldn't have the I wouldn't get the idea to work for environment, to do experimental how do you call it, artificial reef. So maybe Laura and Leila and everybody can go to my Instagram. I have made underwater installation and already 10 pieces in Indonesia and in 6 places in Indonesia, which is to revitalize the coral, which is this thing at the moment.
Yes.
That's fabulous. So yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Tegu, we have seen your amazing coral, artificial corals. I would suggest everybody to see that. My follow up question to previous one was, now you have had so much experience and now you know fair enough that how much you should price your artwork. But when you're starting off in your early days, you made one artwork and you look at it and then you think to yourself, what should I price this? So how would your thinking process be for pricing then, or how we should be thinking about pricing?
From the market, you have sold works, like for example a painting, uh, let's say 300 time 300 time 200 centimeter, right? And you sold like 10,000 US dollar, for example, right? And then you calculate uh, is actually the centimeter things, the centimeter lari. Forget the word again. Uh, let's say 300 plus. You have to calculate like 300 centimeter plus 200 means 500, right? And then you sold 10,000 for $10,000 divided by 500 means $20 per centimeter. This is easy. So for the next sell, so you have to think like $20 per centimeter, and then every year I always increase 10%. That means us 10%, so $22 per centimeter. Just to give you structure, and for the sculpture, so I have always calculated the production cost first. Like the production cost for this 500,000 US dollar sculpture, 8 meters high. So I have spent like 150,000 US dollar for the production cost. Yeah. So that means I sometimes I just calculate the price like 3 times from the production cost. But for example, for the church, what I did in Singapore and in Jakarta, so I only take 50% from 50% from the production cost. Or even for the underwater installation, I do everything pro bono. So those installation is actually worth like 200 until 300,000 US dollar for my artist fee, but I didn't ask for any money. So we just do it on production cost base.
Okay, thank you so much, Tego, for that experienced answer. Yes, Laura, you can.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Laila, are you the next speaker, right?
Yes, thank you. I've been waiting patiently, but
Yes.
thank you.
Go ahead. Do you want me to ask you the questions, or first you want to present yourself?
Why don't you? Yeah. So I think let me just present. I think it's a small room, but I think one thing you and I talked about was I need to get used to sharing my story. So sorry if you heard it twice, but I just want to share it, and I'd love your feedback. So just real quickly, and I'll try to keep this brief. So I'm actually Indian American. I grew up in India. My heritage is Indian and Portuguese, but I've lived in the U.S. most of my adult life. I came here for graduate studies, and I've been working in the finance area for a while. And when the financial crisis happened, I happened to have a little bit of time, and so what started out as just an exploration, I took an art class. And it was just an art class downtown, and I said, let me go do some plein air painting. I had no idea what it was all about, but I completely got hooked. I mean, just one plein air painting, and that took me down the rabbit hole of painting. I mean, I took figure drawing lessons, I took still life. I mean, for the last 10 years, I've basically been working during the day, painting at night on weekends, and taking advantage of all the great art institutions we have in New York. And I will get to pricing, and I will also talk to Tanmay's question about whether artists should just jump into art and not have a job on the side. But just to finish my journey, so so fast forward, I was working during the day, painting nights and weekends, and as Laura said yesterday on the space, I can relate to what you said, that you were constantly working round the clock between trying to pay the bills and then painting for passion. So then COVID happened, and I didn't have to go into the office anymore. So I just painted. I was literally working every day from like 7 a.m. till midnight or longer, between learning, social media, trying to figure out the Instagram algorithm, which I still haven't figured out. But posting, painting, I ended up actually selling a whole bunch of work during lockdown, which I was completely surprised about, and doing a lot of this by trial and error. Along the way, so before lockdown, this is why, Laura, I need to get my story straight. Before lockdown, I happened to have a few both solo shows, mostly group shows in the city, and I also have developed over the course of time. So my art has just developed organically, right? There wasn't sort of any rhyme or reason. I took classes. I went down a path of figure drawing, landscape drawing, still life, abstract, and then I sort of started to take a step back and say, which of these different genres of painting really speak to me? Where can I have my voice? Where can I articulate two things, either my experience, my feelings and my emotions, and do that. And then the second was, how can I convey what's going on in the real world, and then contribute my experience to that. So I found that even though my training has been representational, and I had teachers who were all like Florence Academy trained in the French school, very, very strict, figure drawing. But what I found, and not to knock it because it's very, very difficult, but I found that after it can get formulaic, it can get very technical, and my website has, the different genres. But I found that abstract painting really gives me that freedom of expression. So this particular piece, thank you for pinning that. So this particular piece is part of my Wall Street series. So I painted, the title is called Bull Market. It's 36 by 36. And this is mostly acrylic, so it's a mixed media piece. And the reason I chose these colors was, for the green, right? Green is for the US dollar. Green is for, the bull market on my trading screen when the stocks are going up, when the market is going up. And then red is little bits of red, where, even in a bull market, there's always some stocks that are going down. So that's the red. And then the yellow was kind of just the uncertainty. So I used like the the analogy with the traffic light. So if green is go and red is the stoplight, yellow is like caution. So those are kind of stocks that are trading either flat or sideways and trying to figure out if they're going to go up or down. So anyway, so that's the interpretation. And again, it's hard to see in a small image the sort of the flickering motion, this is before animation. I still don't know how to animate this, but maybe that'll be a good thing for me to learn how to show this flickering so you can see the colors, literally like my trading screen is flickering. But so anyway, so that's just a quick roundup of my art. I've also done a climate change series, which is based on it's an abstract rendering of the ocean. I love nature, so nature is another source of inspiration to me. And so I haven't yet posted any of those, or maybe I posted one of them here. But so my landscape series, I have a traditional landscape series that is very, very based on like the Hudson River School, a set of paintings, and each of those, Ted can relate to this, they take, I don't know, sometimes they take 20, 30, 40 hours to render one painting, but they're in a very different style, and I use that as my background for my more abstract art. Yes, Laura, sorry.
Yes, so how do you price your works? How did you decide? Did you decide it more intuitively? Were you like measuring your works as Tegu was explaining?
Yeah,
or what was your system?
So for my abstract paintings, I think that, I talked to some abstract artists. I try to use a rough formula based on the size. So, and for this particular one, I have a limited edition of 10 because I'm starting out. So I wanted to price it low. So I priced this one at 1/10 of an eighth, whatever that is. I think it's 0.1. So I'm pricing these as the series of 10. It's a limited edition, and the painting itself would be about 1 or 1.5 ETH. And again, I just started, so and I think what was the other lady who spoke earlier from South Carolina? She had some great, yeah. So I think I have to sort of rethink the pricing strategy for NFTs since I've just started. But in the real world, my larger prints, my larger paintings is, between $6,000 and $10,000, and the smaller ones are, depending on size, it's not an exact square inch formula, but it's kind of based on time, materials, the subject matter. So the realist paintings, I haven't even priced them. They're hanging in my home because it's I'd never get compensated for the hours that I put in, so I just enjoy those. But I think the ones that that I've shown for sale, or the ones that have sold, I've sold a fair amount. I pretty much go by a rough size, and I'm, like I said, I'm figuring this out. So hopefully that was helpful. So I would say the smaller pieces are maybe $1,000 if they're about 1/6 the size of my large abstracts. So that's a rough estimate, Laura. I don't know if that was helpful.
Yes, absolutely. I think sharing the knowledge, experience, and it just helpful. I'm sorry for the background noise. It's very helpful to each other, And so as you started last year with the pandemic, is that right? Yeah. So how do you notice your collectors' reaction if you raise the price, or how is the reaction from the public? So you probably have your continuous collectors that usually buy and ask for your new works and are interested in your studio experience and everything. Is that right?
Yeah. So what's interesting is that I've tried to get some of those people here, Laura, onto the people who bought from me, but they're all like leery. They're like, oh, we don't understand crypto, we're scared our wallets are going to get stolen. So that has been the challenge, and that's why I've kind of gone slow. And I priced one or two of my works based on the same prices that I had them in the real world. But the problem is I'm brand new here, so I think and that's why I think this space is so helpful. So I need to maybe just put some smaller pieces and get started, at a really low price, and we can chat about it offline. But I think that makes a lot of sense based on what I'm hearing from you guys. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it's definitely about starting. Obviously, it's a marketing all strategy where you start, and brand awareness is one of the first things, So obviously, you need to like let about yourself know to other people, so other people who would like your works, they would follow your evolution as an artist and support you eventually, So obviously then you can also see how the prices, what is the reaction, and for sure it's a little bit tricky if you start with high. i personally
Yeah.
did I personally did so I have, for the physical works, I have on average the same price range as your physical works, and I started on NFTs. I put the very first one I put on, I listed, was taken from my painting, and I listed it quite high, and then I realized no, it's something that I actually don't want to replicate on NFT. That's my personal choice, and I decided to actually do this very personal project where I am an artist and I'm also a subject on my art, and unite the two worlds of mine, But it was my choice to do something completely different from my physical art and to into NFTs, and I obviously started pricing them at very low. Well, fortunately, it's been third day that I have sold my third NFT in raw, so it's been a big celebration, But yes, in NFTs, I would definitely start low and then grow up, especially if the platform allows you to do that,
So when you say low, sorry, if you can just actually share real numbers. Sorry.
Yeah, so sorry, for me the low means 0.03, which is approximately $120 for an NFT, which is 101.
What size? What size is that? Now, is that a digital image?
That's
I'm going to write
digital,
this down,
yeah.
because that's digital. So you're also doing work on the iPad for NFTs?
So I currently work on my phone because I don't have iPad. Eventually in the future I will have iPad, but yeah, I work from my phone. And if you ask about the dimensions of the works, they are between 2 megabytes to up to 20 megabytes for an NFT.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, and actually I have to say the one that I listed from my physical art, it was 40 and even 50 megabytes. So it was super uber high resolution, which I did as unlockable content because I didn't want to have it just everywhere in super high resolution, because people could eventually use it for fabrics or for anything else. But that's just because that is very good for prints and so on and so on. It was just my protection. However, I wouldn't do it in no, let's say if I would do figurative art or any different abstract art, and I'll tell you why. Because you really want especially at the beginning, you want people to know about you, so you want to show them as much as possible of you. And if you think, if you are on OpenSea, and I don't know about other platforms, there's so many artists. What is the chance that somebody is going to go on your profile just to steal your art? Like, the chances are very low. Okay, so I wouldn't really worry about that. And yeah, I would just start with brand awareness.
So you're saying, yeah, no, I was not concerned about stealing art on OpenSea, but I think someone had suggested, just to all of us artists, they said don't put your high res images, don't post them before you mint it. That was the advice I was given.
Oh yeah, I remember yesterday. Yeah. Well, I think
so that's what I meant. And it's a chicken and an egg thing, right? Like if I don't post my artwork, how are they going to know that I have something on Rarible or OpenSea? So you have to post it, but maybe the trick is then mint it and then post. Like, what is your thought on that? And Tanmay, feel free to jump in as well.
so. I would say if that's your Sorry, I'll just do very quickly. I think if that's your physical work, you are already an owner of the work. And if you are not sure if you want to mint it, then post it if you feel like posting it. If you know you're going to mint it in the future, then probably it's better to first mint it and then post it.
Got it. No, that makes sense. And how's your experience been with OpenSea? Has it been... Would you recommend it to start?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually doing it. So there are many concerns about Polygon, but I am minting on Polygon. And I say because of the Polygon, I could have price and list them this low, and thanks to that, I probably am selling. I don't know. I haven't raised my prices since 1 month when I first minted my work, so I don't really know. But eventually, with more complex works, with more difficult works, I will change my price. But with, let's say, such simple version of my works, I still keep them at 0.03 ETH. And honestly, I have never had problems with OpenSea. Maybe they have some slower moments, maybe faster, but as a security, I'm not concerned about that.
Great, thank you. And I think Tanmay wants to speak. So go ahead.
May I say something?
Yeah, Tego, please go ahead.
Yeah, on my Us series, in appreciation to my model, there are also NFT artists. And after I minted, so I always minted the image in the size of 1 megabyte in JPEG. But for my model, so I always send them the high resolution image, just as a gift. And like Jimmy, one of my models, he then printed out on aluminum plate in America, and he's now have the so-called original Tegu Ostenrig in his apartment. This is only my appreciation to them.
Wow, that was something very new and interesting. And Laila, to your point about should we mint the artwork first or is it okay to post? If you're using OpenSea and Polygon, I would suggest you to mint it. It doesn't cost anything. Don't list it if you don't want. Don't freeze it. You can just mint it. And if you're on Foundation or you plan to do on some other platforms where it's going to take gas fee, um, you can wait for it, but you can still post it because you'll have the provenance on Twitter, right? You can claim that you have already uploaded that on Twitter.
Okay, so I didn't know that was an option. That is super helpful. So you, just so I understand, you're saying mint it so that then the provenance is established, but don't necessarily put pricing on it till you're ready to sell. Was that what you said?
Yes.
So can you just mint it and like a placeholder?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I did not even know that.
So there are 3 steps in OpenSea. One is minting.
Okay.
Second is freezing, and third is listing. So minting, you mint the piece, it is there. You can edit it, delete it, whatever you can do it to that. Second step is not talked about, but it is very important step. It is called freezing. I have written a blog on it. So freezing confirms that
Okay.
NFT is on the blockchain. Without freezing,
Oh,
it's not a complete NFT. So if freezing on Ethereum requires gas fees, freezing on Ethereum
correct.
is free. So when you are not sure about what price to put, or if you're not ready to list it, don't freeze it. You can freeze it just before your listing. So once you mint it, you can post it on any social media. Once you have finalized what to do, freeze the data, metadata, and then you can list it.
And then what about pricing? And the third step is listing, right? That's the
Yes,
third step.
listing is pricing. Listing means pricing.
Oh, listing means pricing. Okay. So that this is great. No one has explained it like this, and this was what has been rattling around in my head since I started. So this is super helpful. I will read your blog. Where is your blog on this? Is it? I'll just follow you. I mean, I already follow you, but that's super helpful. And then I have a follow-on question. So let's say at the freezing stage, so I minted on OpenSea. I freeze it because I'm unsure as to, whether I have an audience, what the price is, and then I decide to go somewhere else. So let's say I want to now take it to Foundation or Tezor or Wearable. Is that possible, or now am I married to OpenSea for the rest of our life?
Until you have until you have not frozen it, you can do anything what you want. You can delete it. You can put it in on any other chains.
Oh,
But once you freeze it, you cannot delete it. You cannot edit it. It is just frozen. There's nothing that can be done. So until you're sure what you have to do, don't freeze it. But once you're sure, definitely freeze it, because then your data will be decentralized. It won't be on OpenSea server. If you had attended the hen discontinuing last month, so people, that was a catastrophe and people were panicking and stuff like that. But luckily, their
oh,
data was automatically stored on a decentralized platform. So people were able to retrieve that through object and other places. But what OpenSea does
okay.
is OpenSea still keeps it on its Google Drive. So it's very centralized. So if anything happens to OpenSea, or if it comes under a hack attack or something, so our NFTs are at risk. So it's better to freeze it before.
So
You'll get all
maybe,
the details in the blog. I've
yeah.
covered all the circumstances in it.
That's fantastic. So this is, and I'm just summarizing this for the others in the room who probably have the same question. So I think for those of us who are starting out, like now in my case, I only have 3 paintings on Rarible, and I priced, two of them at the same prices as IRL, and so be it. But the problem is, if I decide to burn it, I have to pay the gas fees to burn it and say list it lower or list it higher or whatever. So I'm thinking aloud here. So maybe I just leave those as is, and then I start a new collection and price it lower. And these are smaller pieces, different collection, and just mint it and then post it on social media. I mean, on Twitter.
Yes, and I am not the right person to talk about Rarible. I can give detailed information on OpenSea, but yeah, the
Okay,
fundamentals are same everywhere.
they are the same. Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to just
Uh,
check the freezing aspect on Rarible. I'm not sure about that, but everything is same.
Okay. No, they actually just announced, and I'll share this piece of information. So Rarible just announced a collaboration this morning or yesterday with Tezos. So now they've got that low price, low gas option on their platform, which is just good to know. But the problem with Tezos though is then you've got to get a different wallet, right? Because it's a different currency. It's not on the Ethereum blockchain. So then you have to go down that rabbit hole.
Yes,
Do you know anything about Tezos? Any
yes.
of you that you would share?
So there are currently three platforms for Trezors. If you ask
Okay.
personal suggestion, I would suggest Calamint. It is like the foundation of Tezos, and
Okay.
you have to get a wallet called Temple is the most suitable for Tezos, and then
Okay.
then you mint the process, and the whole thing you will be able to you can it's very easy, or I can help you in detail on the back channel. And
So let me ask you this: is Temple like MetaMask?
yes,
Is Temple the Tezos version of MetaMask?
yes.
Got it. Okay.
And just a
So
trivia,
so then you can link your Temple to your Coinbase or Gemini, which in turn links to your bank account. I'm just doing like a flow chart in my head.
yes,
Okay, so that Coinbase part or the Gemini, which connects to your bank to transfer the money, that stays the same. It's just the wallet. Instead of using MetaMask on Tezos, you use Temple. Correct?
yes, yes.
Wow. Thank you for clarifying this. Oh my God, this is amazing. And then you said there's three. So Tezos is one, Calumet. What are the
Lila,
others?
sorry to interrupt you. I think you could back channel with Tanmay, or we could do another spaces or
Yeah.
Clubhouse about
Perfect.
technical stuff. But I would like to
Perfect.
continue with Mirna,
Perfect.
that has been waiting for a long time.
Okay,
And
super.
thank you. And Mirna, please, mic is yours.
Hi, Laura. Hey, thank you. I was listening to the Tesos talk also.
Amazing. I guess we will have to do the technicalities group on Clubhouse, Tanmay.
Yeah, we can do it later. I don't remember how was the dynamic to I introduce myself, or how.
Yes, so I would suggest you to explain what kind of artist you are, and since how long, and if you started doing NFTs, then when, and is that different from your traditional art? And then I will ask other questions.
Okay. Okay. I am from Bolivia. I actually study marketing, but I like to do art since I was a kid. Because of my mom, he told me. I got a marketing degree like 10 years, no, 8 years ago. But I do calligraphy and lettering for living 6 years ago. Was a difficult struggle because, as you know, to being an artist is not well recognized, even by your closer circle. They don't take art as a profession, so there was a little struggle there. But I just trust myself and start doing what I love, that is letters in an artistic way, like I do, from products to murals, to frames, illustration with letters also. So I recently, like 1 year ago, I opened a store where I design my products and I sell them. So I can say I live by doing art, and I love this. It's difficult, but I love this. Well, this year I have found about NFTs, uh, and I think this NFT world gave me the opportunity to explore more my illustration side, because I think I can share more a lot of my ideas without them to fit in the real world. Because in the NFT world, I can illustrate more crazy things. And in the real life, when I sell my products, I have to fit them into the real life. Like, they have to be real things and real situations, and I think more emotional things. So I have found this NFT world. I have made some sales, uh, and I'm loving this. I have uh, from the NFT world, I have found about Try Crypto, that is a community who made of women who wants to develop a Web3 products to make easier the introduction for everyone into the Web3, to the NFTs, crypto, all these kind of things. I think that's all. Sorry if I feel like I have talked a lot.
No worries. Thank you so much for sharing it. And so how is the pricing change different from your calligraphy, your physical works, and your NFTs?
Oh well, to start, there's a lot of difference. For example, if I do a mural for a company, or I don't know, for a brand like Coca-Cola or something, it takes me like 8 hours to be done and a week to be planned, and I can charge around $100 or $200. So it's it's a lot of work to a little pay. And for NFTs, the lowest price I have received is point 10 Ethereum, and it takes me like no more than one afternoon to design something, because it's not what the client asked for, it's what I feel inside, and just I just feel like drawing it. So the difference between the real life and the NFT life prices is a lot. And well, about how has this changed from the beginning? I have started on Rarible like with $60, and now my lowest price is 0.10 Ethereum.
Congratulations. That's definitely into the NFT direction, right?
Exactly. You as one as an artist find like more possibilities in this world, because it's like freedom, also like creativity freedom, and also an economic freedom, because you feel more free to draw what you feel inside, and to explore like methods to draw. And in an economic way, you spend less time and less effort to earn the same or more money.
That is a big turn of career, right? Um, Tell me, please, what is like if proportionately you would have to divide your time between your traditional art and your NFT art? Would it be like almost 100% NFT, or from like at the current situation as you have explained your situation?
I would like to divide like 80 20, 20 to the calligraphy and real life, because I I feel like I need to explore like with products, because marketing is into me. So I need to make sales. I need to connect with people like face to face, and this gives me like kind of feedback to have more resources to use them on the NFT world. But maybe it's a curious fact to share with you. I am in Bolivia. In Bolivia, NFTs, crypto, and this meta world is forbidden. We are not allowed to use. Yes, we are not allowed to use. So, if, for example, if you want to buy Ethereum to make some art, is illegal. You can go to jail for doing that. So we are it's really difficult for me to say like I would love to spend like 100 of my time into the NFTs, but sadly it's not possible, because I cannot share my name, I cannot do it publicly, I cannot like make real life groups to share ideas, or galleries, because will bring a lot of troubles, So for us, it's really difficult, and we say here in Bolivia, like people outside is so lucky that you can easily buy any coin. You can easily make a meta life on the parallel of your real life, and maybe you are not giving this the real value you should give to this, because for us it's a real struggle.
That is crazy. And actually, you're the second person I heard today and the other one was from Hawaii, because also in Hawaii it's illegal. So this is crazy. Would you ever consider moving from Bolivia to other country?
Actually, yes, I have considered that. Well, it's not easy. You know, you need like visas. You need like any kind of residence. So,
but you're gonna sell many NFTs and you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I wish I can do that. But also, I have this strong love for my country, because my country has never like standed out of nothing, like nothing. But actually, we have great artists, like in literature, like in poetry, like in music, like in painting, drawing. We have a lot of art. So I'm trying to stand out here to the outside world. So maybe we can in some way make a change, because like me by myself, I cannot make anything. But if I can put a lot of people together to show their art without like trading, like directly, like not making this illegal, I think we can make a change for my country and all the artists, because we don't have a lot of money here, but we have a lot of potential. So I think that NFTs is the big door for a lot of people in my country.
I love that. That's a very revolutionary, very fighter spirit in you, and I hope Bolivia soon will allow the NFTs and crypto world in your country. Tell me, please, how do you market? And we're gonna end with you as a speaker. And Sahil, unfortunately, we won't take you this time, but we will do definitely next time, and we will invite you to our next spaces to speak and share your experience. But for this time, we're gonna end with Mirna, and then we will close the spaces. And Mirna, before we close, what is your recommendation? As for NFTs for marketing, and also knowing that the Christmas are coming soon, and maybe you can do some special marketing for sales and incentives and everything. So if you can share your experience.
Um, well, I always suggest artists to educate themselves first. Like you really need to educate, because I have know a lot of artists who has lost money or having struggling with scams. So I think community is everything, because community will give you like emotional support and support with knowledgement. Find a community where you feel like safe and you feel confident enough to ask anything, like anything. And is anyone here like looking for any kind of information? Feel free to write me a DM, and I can help as much as I can. I think that's the first thing. And the second thing, like just trust your art. Like don't you can get inspired by another artists and their collections, but a collector told me once, just be authentic, and that will shine your entire way. So I think that those things, like community, educate yourself, and trust your art.
I think this is a very beautiful conclusion for today. And thank you so much for giving your experience, and be authentic is a fantastic advice. Tanmay or Tegu, do you have any comments, last comments or questions for Mirna?
Thank you for coming. She was busy in a meeting, yet she came back and she was here in the beginning of the space. Very thankful to you for coming, sharing your thoughts, and sharing about situation in Bolivia, and yeah, about your whole art. We definitely would like to know more from you, and I hope things get better with regards to crypto and these things over there. And you're just doing an awesome work. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you, Laura, and thank you, Tamay. I feel the good energy from this space since the beginning. So I hope you are making these spaces again, and I can share this with the Latin community. We are a lot, so they can join us for the next time.
Vamos.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tanmay, for co-hosting and being such a great support in these spaces. Thank you, Tegu, for your experience and your senior artist, and all respect to your work and experience and recommendations. Thank you, Mirna, for your experience, and it's always a treasure, and your suggestions are very helpful. And thank you, everybody who was listening here and who was with us all the time, and not only all the time. Please follow Tanmay and all the other speakers, and Mirna, Tegu, and myself. And we have not only here the spaces, but we have also on Clubhouse. We have a club, two clubs actually. One is Passionistas, where we talk about technical things of NFTs. So that could be softwares, platforms, how to do's, and etc. So we do that under Passionistas. And we have Rocklaz, where we talk about broader things like art, economy, business, spirituality, etc. So please do follow us, and we see you next time, and I hope to hear from you too. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
We hope that you found value in today's episode and like the work that we do. To support us, please consider buying our NFTs. All links are mentioned in the description. Have a good time. See you soon.